Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bendy, and here on this channel we practice flexibility of the mind, body, and spirit. A couple weeks ago I came out with a video just telling you guys about my morning routine, and one of the steps on my morning routine was a letter that I read to myself every morning and that I also read to myself every evening. And this is a letter that I wrote to my subconscious in order to alleviate myself from some of the subconscious beliefs that I held that did not serve me. I want to show you guys how to recreate this letter for yourselves so that you can have it, so that you may reprogram your own subconscious. Okay, let's get started. So in order to understand the context of this exercise, I need to let you guys know where I got the idea for this little project. We'll call it a little project. I'll let you know where I got the idea from. So the idea came from two different books, and the first book is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. So this is a great book. It's a wonderful self-help book that deals with a little bit of the metaphysical, quantum jumping fun stuff in the most lighthearted way, I guess, to not scare people off. It's like the top layer. It's the top layer. So the chapter that I am referencing is chapter 17. Chapter 17 is all about your inner stories, the personal stories that you tell yourself on a daily basis that create your identity. And these stories determine how you react in social situations, what you think about yourself, what you think you're worthy of, what you think you're capable of. We tell ourselves all these stories, and these stories make up the sum of us. In reference to stories, Jen Sincero says this: before you can let go of your stories, get clear on what they are. Listen to what you say and what you think about, and start busting yourself in your own lies. We get so used to and so identify with our broken records that we don't even notice they exist or that they're not even real, and yet we'll fight to the death to uphold these non-truths. We don't realize it, but we're making the perks we get from perpetuating our own stories more important than getting the things we really want because it's familiar territory. It's what we're comfy with, and we're scared to let it go. If we've been depressed or victimized or whatever since childhood, we trick ourselves into believing that it's really who we are as adults in order to continue reaping the rewards. It's how we survived as kids, but it doesn't serve us anymore, so we need to get rid of it, or we'll just keep creating more of it. Creating more of it. So she has an exercise, and what that exercise basically is sitting down, defining stories about yourself, the stories that are most relevant to your everyday life, and then rewriting them so that they serve you. So an example of this is a person can say, I can't meet a man because there aren't any good ones left. So what does a person get from that? Jen says that by saying there aren't any good men out there, I don't have to take responsibility for why I'm not meeting any. And then she says that you can rewrite this phrase and it can become, the world is filled with awesome, loving men, and I am fully capable of and so excited to find me a good one. So that's that exercise from this book that helped me come up with the idea. And then the other book that helped me come up with the idea was The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. So good. This book is so good. This book changed my life. I'm showing you guys the back. This book changed my life. It's so good. Do you believe me? I hope so. If you haven't read it, find a copy, pick it up. So good. Changes everything. So I actually got my idea from the second chapter, the chapter on suggestion and auto-suggestion. Joseph writes, your subconscious mind cannot argue controversially. Your subconscious mind cannot argue controversially. Hence, if you give it wrong suggestions, it will accept them as true and will proceed to bring them to pass as conditions, experiences, and events. All things that have happened to you are based on your thoughts impressed on your subconscious mind through belief. If you have conveyed erroneous concepts to your subconscious mind, the sure method of overcoming them is by the repetition of constructive, harmonious thoughts frequently repeated which your subconscious mind accepts, thus forming new and healthy habits of thought and life. For your subconscious mind is the seat of habit. So he then goes on to tell a story about a woman age 75 who noticed that she was losing her memory. So she would repeat to herself, I am losing my memory. It became a phrase that she started to identify with. So then when she learned about autosuggestion, she started to say, my memory from today on is improving in every department. I shall always remember whatever I need to know at every moment of time and point of space. And she repeated this to herself, and she started to regain her memory. And this book is full of wonderful examples. If you like Joe Dispenza's books where he gives like tons of examples, you'll love this book because it's a bunch of real life stories, which I really like. Basically, this idea of defining, like getting right down to the root of what's stopping us from being exactly where we want to be, defining in what ways we're holding ourselves back, and then rewriting that story. Then using auto-suggestion to reprogram our subconscious to take it from a phrase that we just wrote and making it a real part of our reality. So let's make up a person. Let's say that we have a woman named Jill, and Jill has an okay job, she's in an okay relationship, and she feels okay about herself. Jill might decide that she wants to write a letter to her subconscious to reprogram her mind every morning and every night. So she sits down and she realizes that she has an okay job because maybe she's afraid of being a failing at a job that she really loves. So she only looks at employment at places that will pay her, but that she's not too emotionally invested in. So instead of making fear-based choices regarding her employment, maybe she chooses to write, I am so happy every morning when I wake up to go to work because my job is so fulfilling and I am so good at it. Maybe that's the new story that she writes. She has an okay relationship that she's not really too excited about, and maybe Jill was cheated on, so she has trust issues. So again, she has a wall up. She doesn't want to let a partner in to completely know her, so she just kind of stays in these mediocre relationships and just to have someone to spend time with. So maybe she writes, I'm in a relationship that I can see lasting long term. This relationship lights me up and my partner makes me want to be a better person. That would be more examples that she would put into her letter. Let's say she feels okay about herself. Not great, not horrible, just okay. So maybe another thing she would put in the letter is, when I look in the mirror, I am so excited to say that I am me. When I look in the mirror, I am amazed at my beauty. When I sit back and think about all my accomplishments, I am dumbfounded by everything that I've done in my, however old she is, years of life. You know, really piling all the good stuff on in this letter. So I know that it sounds really simple, but I think that the most difficult part of this exercise is really sitting down and being honest with yourself and looking at your list of desires and figuring out why you don't have it yet. And I know that sometimes we can conceptualize our desires and say, well, I haven't gotten rich yet because I haven't won the lottery. And yeah, that's the easy answer. But maybe you haven't gotten rich yet because you truly don't want all that money and you don't know it. Maybe you haven't gotten rich yet because, like Jill, you are afraid of being too good at a job because what if you fail at it? You know, we all have these different stories, but we don't know what the stories are until we sit down and ask ourselves. It will come up because the stories are in your subconscious. They're not hiding from you. So if you sit down in silence and look for how you really feel about certain aspects of your life, you will get answers. So see what your mind tells you about your emotional feelings about certain parts of your life, and then intellectually rewrite what your mind tells you so that the new story serves you even more and acts as a vehicle to get you to your new desire. We have to remember that the subconscious is just like a tape recorder. It is replaying stories all day long from morning to night. It is not emotional. It is not petty. It is not angry. It's none of that. We just observe things in our lives. We process those things in different ways. And depending on how we process those things, that determines how they are embedded into our subconscious. And that's how we believe life is, unless we do other work to redirect and correct those thoughts. It's important to note that the subconscious is constant. So our conscious mind, we can interact with it. We can consciously reference our thoughts, see what we are thinking, and be emotional and all that. But our subconscious mind is very constant and it's very dependable. It's not wavering. It's just replaying the same things over and over. It's like a computer system. You know, whatever computer system a computer is running off of, whether that's a Mac or a PC, that operating system is like our subconscious. So our subconscious is what determines our thoughts. When something happens to us or when we recall a memory, our subconscious has the story that determines what our thoughts will be regarding whatever we are facing at that time. It's your choice on whether you want to let your subconscious story allow you to emotionally react through everything without really checking in on what your subconscious stories are. That's one way to live. Or as different emotions start to come up, you can check back in with your thought process that got you to those emotions and see whether you agree with it or not. Regarding the letter to your subconscious, I'd also like to add that you can put in affirmations if you would like. I do sprinkle some affirmations into my letter. So even though you have these phrases defining the life that you are creating, it's okay to stick in short little affirmations that you can continue to put into your subconscious, such as, I make more money than I could ever spend, or, you know, things that might feel random to the letter. The letter doesn't have to flow like a story. It's okay if you just are listing the different beliefs in your letter. It doesn't have to be organized. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a way to implement new thoughts into your thinking process. And that is about it on our letter to our subconscious today. I hope that this information was helpful. My letter changed my life, so I hope that you try it. And if you do write a letter to yourself, if you do try it, please let me know and let me know your results. If you have any more questions or if I can explain anything else about this, please leave the questions down below and I'll be happy to answer them. Let's talk about comment of the week. This week's comment of the week is by Evelina. I am so bad at reading names. It's like, I'm bad at reading names. I'm bad at remembering names. I'm not bad at reading names. I'm good at reading names. I'm good at remembering names. Anyway, Evelina says, oh my God, this video came up in divine timing. Thank you so much. You truly inspire me. You guys inspire me. Trust me. I am embarking on a short little road trip in my 2003 car today. She runs great, but is definitely a little rickety, which makes me worry about driving kind of far. But the fact that I saw this video is nuts. In my old car, I used to say hello to it every time I got in, and it would cheer me, and I would cheer it on bumpy roads. That was when I was a teen and just so grateful to have freedom. It's crazy how quickly our attitudes can shift when things get tough in life and we just want more. And that dialogue just continues if we don't shift it. Wow. Universe speaking to me through you today. Thank you again. God bless. So, have you guys thought about how different we were when we were teenagers? How excited we were about everything? And the world was just this place of endless possibility, right? That comment just stood out to me so much because I remember being a teenager and remember thinking I can do anything, and I was doing everything and with no self-doubt, with no fear. And it was amazing how teenagers are like these master manifestors and they don't even know it. So I think that just goes to remembering that we are trying to become more childlike. We're trying to go back to that innocence before our mindset was molded by negative things that have happened in our lives. We're learning to be more childlike. We're learning to see the world as this place with endless opportunities. So thank you for that, girl. I loved it. Okay, you guys, that's it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it because I enjoyed making it. I love you so much. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up so other people know that it is valuable. If you'd like me to expand on anything I said in the video, just comment down below. Last but not least, please make sure that you are subscribed and that you click the notification bell so that you can be around for my next video. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.